And so the best I can say is that towards the middle of the 15th century, Pope 1484, Pope Innocent the Eighth produced a message that they call these papal bulls, Bull, and it was called Summus Desiderantes, Desiderantes, and this allowed the Inquisition, which we talked about last time, to pursue witches. So that's quite late, 1484, that happened. So that changed the culture. Up to that point, the church just didn't think that witches existed. And now you've got the Inquisition being allowed to pursue witches.
But we don't have any knowledge of why all of a sudden this happened. Like, it was there some people killed or something because of these witches? Like, what forced this to hit the Pope,
Yeah.
and his people? Like,
Well, for that papal bull to be given, it was just the gradual theological teaching that Satan had to be the cause of non-church magic. Once that decision was made it was by the theologian within the church, then that spreads. I mean, those sort of ideas, even nowadays, it takes a generation or two, and probably more back then, to what's done in the academic world to work its way down to the man on the street, so to speak. But as that fact spread, then, I mean, I can imagine the thoughts of, well, my neighbor there just got his big toe healed, and it wasn't the priest that did that. you know it wasn't church magic. And so, it's just human nature being what it can be, being paranoid, being afraid, maybe being mad at your neighbor. I mean, this is what happens later on. This is ways of settling scores. You can just accuse your neighbor of these things. They're going to get in trouble. I mean, these things are happening today, not, and we don't call them magic and witchcraft, but the type of actions that humans take against other human beings, of accusing each other and canceling each other, and trying to cause harm to each other, happens. And I think it was as simple as that. But then a clear major thing happened called the Reformation. So we're talking about 25 years, 30 years after the papal bull. And the church breaks apart, and the Roman Catholicism sort of begins to redefine itself under a very strict papal authority called the magisterium. These are the people that are going to decide what is true and what isn't true, and it's all under the authority of the Pope. But then you've got Lutheranism and Calvinism and Anglicanism, and they asserted other sources for divine authority. And the surprising part is the Protestant reformers most often agreed with Rome, the current Rome that we're talking about in this time period here, that witches were a clear and present danger. And so all four churches, Roman Catholic, Lutheran, Calvinist, Anglican, persecuted witches to some degree or another. The Eastern Christian or Orthodox Christians did not seem to do it virtually at all.